The other day, I was looking through Hebrews chapter 6, verse 19, and it was talking about how Jesus is an anchor for our soul. And as I started to think about the word anchor, and I started to picture it in my mind, and kind of what the reason of an anchor is, what's the purpose when you have a boat, a physical boat? What's the point of an anchor? It's to hold you down into a place that you're supposed to be, right? It keeps us where we're supposed to be. It keeps us secure. It keeps us in that location. And so we won't wander off into places where we don't belong. Maybe it's to the shore, maybe it's to some trees, whatever it is in the physical picture of an anchor. And as I started to think deeper into this, what is an anchor? What are the two types of anchors? And one of them is, like I said before, that it holds us down to that place where we're supposed to be. And the other side of the anchor, it can be an anchor that holds us down and doesn't allow us to be where we're supposed to be. It's something that can slow us down. If you try to drive your boat when you're still with your anchor still secure to the ground, you're not going to get very far and you're going to make some damage. And so I want to take that into the spiritual perspective, that we need to, number one, we need to release anchors in our life. We need to be set free from things that hold us down. We need to let go of that and cut off that chain, whatever it is in your life that's holding you down. We need to let go of that. And the second is to retrieve anchors. We need to retrieve anchors, and retrieve means to get, to regain possession of. And we need to regain the possession of our anchor, that is Jesus. He is the one who is our anchor. He is my anchor in my life. And so I want to look at this verse in Colossians chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "Therefore, as you have received Jesus Christ the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught, abounding in thanksgiving." And I think those words are really powerful. Rooted, built up, established. Those are great foundational words. Those are powerful words to be secure. God is my anchor. I am alive in Christ because he holds me down. I'm rooted in him. I'm built up in him. I'm established in my faith through him. I think that's really cool. And we can read more here. Another part I want to look at is verse 13, and it says, "And you, who were dead in your trespasses and in the uncircumcision of your flesh, God made alive together with him, having forgiven all of our transgressions, by canceling the record of debt that stood against us with its legal demands. This he set it aside, nailing it to the cross. He disarmed the rules and authorities and put them to open shame by triumphing over them in him." And I think that's so cool. Whatever our anchor is, first off, Jesus needs to be our anchor to hold us down, to keep us secure. And then all the other anchors that hold us down, that we're supposed to release, that we're supposed to let go of, Jesus did it. He canceled it on the cross. He nailed our shame, our guilt, whatever we did on the cross. And we can continue to read here, and it's talking about putting on a new self in chapter 3. And you guys should read this because there's so much more I could go into. I could go so much deeper into this, and hopefully I can make a podcast about it in the future. But the next part, putting on a new self, these are some things that we need to put away that maybe are the anchor in your life that's holding you down, that needs to be Jesus. He needs to be the one that holds you down instead of these things that hold you and don't allow you to be where you're supposed to be. So it says this, "Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of all of these, the wrath of God is coming. In these you too once walked when you were living in them, but now you must put them all away." And here's a few more examples, things that can hold us down in your life. Maybe you have some of these and you can compare. Anger, wrath, malice, slander, obscene talk from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices and have put on a new self, which is being renewed in the knowledge after its image of its creator, which is God, created in his image. As we keep reading here in verse 12, it says, "Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint against the other, forgive each other, as the Lord has forgiven you. And we must also forgive. And above all of these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful." I think that's so good because we can replace these anchors that are holding us down and not allowing us to experience the grace of God or the position that we're supposed to be in. We can replace anger, malice, sexual immorality, impurity, all these other things. We can change that out for kindness, humility, meekness, patience, faithfulness to God, and living in righteousness. And that's exactly what Jesus was. He was all of those things, and that's what I'm supposed to be. That's my example. I'm supposed to live like Jesus, not like these other YouTube pastors or somebody that I look up to. I can have those people in my life to encourage me, but Jesus is the one I want to look like. And so I just wanted to give you guys that today. You guys can continue looking into that, Colossians chapter 2 through 3. It's really, really great. It's deep stuff. I'm going to preach a message on it very soon. I love you guys. Thank you. Here's a word from our sponsors.
You're listening to the Faith and Family Fellowship Podcast. We'll be right back after this quick word from our sponsors.